What's good, family? Good to have you back on the channel. I think got a couple errands to run today. Nothing too spectacular. But as I'm driving through sort of London, through sort of central, southeast, over to east, over to wherever, Stansted, wherever I'm going today, I thought I'd do a little video on things I look out for when I'm filtering through traffic. Now, don't watch that little bit of steam up there, innit? That's just my hot breath. Can't do anything about it. But yeah, filtering. Known to some as lane splitting to our cousins over in the States, and possibly other places. But filtering, lane splitting, whatever you want to call it, it's the art of maneuvering through traffic. As you might have just saw there, slick things, you see it? Ah, come on, see me. Well done, man. So yeah, filtering can be seen as quite dangerous, but it's also quite fun. So by no means is this a tutorial on how you should filter. I'm not giving anyone instructions on how to filter. I'm just giving you guys an insight of what I do when I'm cutting through traffic. Am I going up this bridge? I am. So I'm going to do my best to give a running commentary of things I see and things I'm looking for. Oh, look at that, such a nice man. So yeah, I'm going to try and give you a running commentary of things I see as I see them, things I'm looking out for, and certain things I pay attention to when I'm filtering. Now, some of these things are things that I say that, yeah, people should also look out for, things that they should pay attention to. But again, ride your ride. Pay attention to the roads as best as you can. Build up those observation skills. Even if you're just potting around town, some of these things could be useful. So for me, one of the things that I do when I want to filter, because looking at those gaps, I can actually make the gap in between those two vehicles, but I'm in no rush, and it looked like he's got a flat back tyre. Or low, anyway. But yeah, when it comes to filtering, the most important thing, I would say, is to understand the bike you're on. Now, I know for this bike, with the exception of the mirrors, I'm the widest part of this bike. So my arms, my shoulders extend past the outer fairings for where my lights are. So if I feel like I can fit, I know the bike can fit. You see it? If I can fit, the bike can fit. And so far that's worked alright for me. Man, let me crack this visor, man. My hot breath steaming up this thing, man. I've got a pin locker as well. What's that doing? Need to sue these people, man. Foolish. Got me stopped at a red light, just breathing in my hot breath. Nearly stalling because I didn't put it to neutral. Where was I? Yeah. So, I know the bike is no wider than me. So any gap that I feel like I can walk through, I can ride through. And so far that's worked out good for me. So this section here is pretty open. And again, I'm looking ahead. So that cyclist, for example, I see him looking over his shoulder. I know he wants to move over. This lane, which was clear, I'm not the only one looking to take this lane. So you got to be conscious of other vehicles that may also want to take this lane. If you look up ahead, there looks like the Tesla's moving over into the right lane. Why is he doing that? As it opens up, I can see that's because of this bus lane. Now, I don't know if the bus lane is biker friendly, so let me just tuck in for the moment. Now, if the bus lane is friendly, which 90% of them are, use it. There's no need to be on the outside. There's no need to be in between traffic as such if there's multiple lanes. Just use the bus lane. She came out of nowhere. Oh, I love that crackle. So yeah, use the bus lane. Use everything to your advantage. There's no point in going in between vehicles if you've got a perfectly good bus lane which is open and clear for you to use. Now don't be oblivious when you're in the bus lane. Car. There's nothing stopping anyone from just running out into the bus lane or going into your lane. But still be vigilant. Again, if you see the positioning of this car in front, he wasn't fixed in his position. So typically when I'm driving or when I'm riding and I'm paying attention to other vehicles, I'm looking at the positions that they're in for the period of time that I can see that vehicle. So with that white vehicle before, I pay attention to the wheels in relation to the white lines. As I see him going over to drift over, it could be one of two things in my mind. Tuck in the mirror, I know I can fit there personally, cut through. Bus lane, biker friendly. So the moment I get a chance, I'm getting over into that bus lane. But yeah, that white vehicle, I could see the wheels getting closer to the white line. So that was one of two things. Actually, probably one of three things. Either he hates me personally and he has a personal vendetta against me and he wants to see me off the road. Two, he's just not paying attention and he's not that great on lane discipline. Or three, he plans to move over and switch lane. So whatever the reason is, you want to be conscious of that. And ride accordingly. So now I'm looking those gaps, no point, I'm not going to make them, so I'm just going to go around the outside. And I'm not going to fight with that lorry, so I'm just going to tuck in behind it. So a lot of the other tips when it comes to lane filtering happen on dual carriageways, A roads, other B roads, motorways and what have you. And you're going at faster speeds when you're on those roads. So you need to pay attention to different things in different ways. So at some point I want to get onto the motorway or dual carriageway or what have you. Look at him. Look at him, Chief. Stealing my spot. And then yeah, so once I get into those roads, I'll probably resume this video because there's not a lot of traffic here at the moment for me to really go over too much. But the main things to take away from the video so far is pay attention to the positioning of other cars. Pay attention to how fat or slim you are. Pay attention to the size of the bike and how maneuverable the bike is. Those things will help you in when it comes to lane filtering. And those things will keep you moving when there's traffic. So cool, give me a few minutes, let me go find some good lane filtering bits and I'll be right back with you. Okay, this looks like a little section here. maybe not. He might have the right idea. He might have the right idea. So he's basically created a space for me here. Check your shoulders. Now, here's an example. Now, red light. So that's one of the benefits of being on a bike. See all of this there that I see in front of me? Doesn't bother me the same way it does as when I'm in my van. Unfortunately, I can't make this because all the oncoming cars are kind of tight. So, what I might be looking at doing, oh nice little CB, is tuck in the mirrors. My girl, tuck in your mirrors. Oh, come on, man. You had that. You can make that. You can make that. Go on, man. Go on. Yeah. This Mazda set us up. You know what? You can't win them all. Thank you. Go on, that's it. Cut through. Go on, you can do it. You can do it. Put your hips into it. That's what I say. You gotta believe in your bike. So these gaps here, little rev, because people could be crossing. Bus lane opening up, so tucking over to the left, and we're gone. So that rider that we just went past, pay attention to this indicating light, woman running into the road. Don't know what she's listening to. But like you see the rider that was just back there, he could have made those gaps. He could have possibly tucked in his mirrors, made himself feel a bit smaller, and he could have made those gaps. And that goes back to what I was saying earlier about understanding your bike, seeing what your bike can fit through. Same in cars, same in bicycles, and same with whatever mode of transport you're using. When I'm in a van, I know what gaps I can make when I'm in the van. Blue lights behind, I think I'm getting chased by an ambulance. Alright, give it 2 secs, let me get out of his way. Alright, let me get out of his way by getting out of everyone's way. So again, overtaking this lorry, there's a crossing. Slow down for the crossing. Getting overtaking vehicles, you can see this madman in the road. He didn't even seem interested. Again, you gotta watch out for nutcases like that. All that to sneak into the front of the queue. I think I lost the ambulance, I don't think they're chasing me anymore. So again, bus up ahead indicating to pull out. So I can see ahead of it, and I can see that there's traffic. So I'll check the mirrors, pull out and go around the right. I can see that there's a right-hand lane coming up. That gives me enough time to sort of tuck in, make that gap. These vehicles don't quite know what lane they want to be in. So just get away from them. Now, here on the bend, it's not a blind bend. Oh, I could have tucked in behind that Mini. Again, know your bike. That was a bit ropey, I can't lie. I'm still working on the maneuverability on this. Look at a nice driver. Now, the speeds when it comes to filtering, you wanna keep an eye on it. You don't want to be going too much faster than the other vehicles, because you want to be able to respond if you need to. So where these vehicles ain't really moving, I'm not going to be flying past them doing 412 miles an hour. Like, best case scenario, what I'll do is I'll probably just jump on that grass, jump over that little berm, whatever you call that, cut across the grass and get down to the front. But lucky for me, it's opened up a little bit and I can just pass over on the right. So you got this island in the middle. Pay attention to the driver. He might not be paying attention to me and not expecting me to do that, so I won't just cut in front of him when he's about to move, and then back to scheduled programming. So although this isn't a blind bend, it's one that I can't see perfectly around. So again, when it comes to those bends, just take it easy. Try not to put yourself between a rock and a hard place. Now, I think in one of the comments on the previous video, I mentioned that these ain't particularly the best when it comes to just standard city riding. Thank you, driver. Now, temperature, 98 degrees, it was 102. The fan kicks in at about 105 or so. My backside is there's no safe way to say it, but my backside's on fire right now. So there's going to be a few times where I'm going to stand up to get some air, and you may have even noticed I've not changed gear for maybe the length of this road since I've been on it, or for at least the last half a mile or what have you. Now I change gears just out of courtesy. Drop down that exhaust note, drop down the engine noise for a bit, let the engine sort of relax a bit. We're still sitting at about 4,000 RPMs. But when you're in the city, yeah, forget about it. Forget about it. Just get off and walk. Sometimes it's that irritating. You're doing 4 miles an hour, first gear, you can't fit through anything. The roads are terrible. Drivers are worse. You've also got cyclists, more cyclists that you have to pay attention to. The start-stop of the traffic lights is horrendous. But once you get out of that, get away from that. See this one indicating, I can see it indicating. So rather than fight with her, just drop back and let her go. Because I'm only going to overtake her anyway. So roundabout, everyone's positioned to go around. So nice. Ah yeah, get a feeling now. Dong 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 dong. Let that car overtake, and now we might be back in business. Visor down, I've cleared off that hot breath from the visor. Now let's see if we get any tips for filtering when we come here. Now bear in mind, every ride is different. I'm not always going to get perfect examples of the things I want to show you. So some videos we just may have to just cut that short, and boy, it is what it is. And in other situations, when I think I've got a decent journey to take you guys on, then I'll see what footage I can capture then, see if we can get some good opportunities, and I can just show you some things that I look at for filtering. Now, especially when you're on these larger roads, going at these higher speeds, there can be more opportunities to filter. But oh, you guys saw that. But that white vehicle up ahead went up onto the curb, nearly went into the central barrier. It didn't look like he got cut off or anything. It looked like he just wasn't paying attention or underestimated his van's capabilities. But yeah, he's still going. So yeah, big up to him, innit? Big up him, innit? We're all safe. But yeah, so filtering on these larger roads is obviously a lot higher speeds. Now, in smooth moving traffic, you're gonna have plenty of opportunities to move in and out, and you want to do that as safe as possible while being observant as possible. So, slip roads. Cars coming onto the slip roads. Do you want to be in that left lane when cars are coming onto the slip road? Maybe, maybe not. Exits, same thing. You want to see where the exits are and then see if you can plan ahead. Couldn't resist. But like now, things I'm paying attention to. Like I said earlier, the vehicles in relation to the white line. How are they sitting? Already, that blue van up ahead, I'm paying attention to how he's driving from back here. He's close to the white line, and obviously he's moving to avoid planks of wood like that. So now I know when I'm approaching those vehicles up ahead, I can see that for the most part, they're holding a pretty good line. Except for when I say they're holding a pretty good line and he gets close to the line. So I already know that overtaking or going past, filtering past this blue van is going to have to be done extra cautiously. So all I'm going to do for now is just tuck in and wait for an opportunity. Now I'm sitting in the left-hand side of the lane. So one, I can see down the middle. Two, he could probably get me in his mirror if he ever looks at his mirror. And three, I'm in the best position to perform that filtering maneuver when I'm ready to do so. So if you see in front of the white van on the left, you can see that there's quite a large gap between them and the vehicle in front. In situations like that, yeah, see what I mean? He's on the white line, he's off the white line, he's on the white line, he's off the white line. Now, like I was saying, with that gap in between those two, depending on what plans you have, and depending on how the roads are ahead, that's a perfect opportunity for other vehicles to move over into that lane. So, drop a quick gear, and I want to get around this blue thing. Cool, now I'm past him, I'm just going to sit myself in the middle. Again, I'm not close enough to the vehicle in front as to where I'm in any of his blind spots. I can see both of his mirrors, which means both of his mirrors can see me, which is why I will tuck into the center of the lane at this point. Still paying attention to my mirrors to see what's going on behind me, to my right and to my left, and thinking about my next move, should I wish to take it. So again, as I'm getting closer to this vehicle, I'll move myself over to the right, because any filtering that's going to happen is going to take place over on the right. And you can see this grey BMW, looks like they've seen me. Give them a wave. And now my eyes are just scanning every gap, every opportunity for myself and every opportunity for other vehicles. So again, where we've got this gap over here to the left, that would have been prime real estate for the silver vehicle that I just parked on my right. Same for the Q7 into this gap. So when you're coming up to these, again, I'm looking at the positioning of the vehicle. I'm looking through their back windscreen if they've got one, or through their back window if they've got one. I'm looking to see what their head's doing. Are they looking around as if they're getting ready to move? Are their wheels getting closer to that dividing line? Those are the things that I'm paying attention to when gaps like that open up. So this is nice here. I'm not going much faster than the other vehicles. Most of the vehicles I'm doing pretty good on their lane discipline. I don't have any other vehicles behind me that want to get past. See the Audi sort of moved away, gave me a little bit of space. Appreciate that. Brake lights. So as they slow down, avoid that dead fox. As they slow down, I slow down a touch. There's no point in me still doing whatever MPH I was doing back there when everyone else was doing similar. There's no point in me continuing that when they slow down, because it gives me less opportunity to slow down should anyone want to pull out. So nicely tucked in here. Again, I'm keeping to the left-hand lane, the left of the right-hand lane, so I can easily be seen in their mirrors. Watching the brake lights and watching further down to see how that traffic is slowing down. So I could just move over to the left-hand lane, but that's not filtering. Now bear in mind, being in and amongst these vehicles is a vulnerable position. So it's times like these where you have to be extra vigilant. You can't just be out here, what's the term, lollygagging, singing and dancing to NSYNC. Get used to the bike. Go to a car park, practice your slow maneuvers, practice your U-turns. Set up some cones or put some bricks on the floor or something and practice your maneuvers between those. Practice going through tight gaps. So that Jeep was something to watch out for. And then I'm going to tuck in here because everyone's getting up to speed. Yeah, set yourself up obstacles. Just like when you've probably done your CBT or your A2, or if you've just gone straight for your unrestricted, you've got obstacles. You have to show that you can maneuver. But those only show you how to maneuver and show that you have a basic understanding of maneuvering. And it's often on their bikes. Now you've got your own bike, that maneuvering practice shouldn't stop. So, got access to cones or anything like that, or if you go into a car park and you see some gaps between, say, a lamppost and something else, practice going between them, practice going through them so you can get a gauge of the kind of gaps you can go through when you're out on the road. So, as I was talking about slip roads, all that have you, there's a load of cars joining this. So would it be smart for me to go over to the left? Not particularly. I can just sit nicely in this lane and I don't have to worry about other vehicles emerging, because the vehicles that are coming on might push vehicles that are already on over. And it's just one less thing to worry about if I just tuck myself between the vehicles in these lanes. So again, now, as the traffic builds up, you're going to have people constantly looking for opportunities to get over so they can get ahead. So this gap on the left, pay attention to it. There's no more gaps coming up. But you can see up ahead, gaps are starting to open up because lanes are moving. So again, just like this vehicle, it opened up on his right. It feels like it's a faster moving lane, so he's going to tuck over. Up there, you see it the same. Vehicles moving over to the right because they believe it to be the faster lane. It usually isn't. Top tip when I'm driving, I often find myself in the left-hand lane. Because everyone's fighting to go into the right lane because they consider it to be the fast lane. Again, gap. So I'll move over just in case anyone has any last-minute ideas. But because everyone thinks that the right lane is the fast lane, everybody tries to get over to the fast lane. Now, when you see signs like that and exit a mile ahead, the left lane is usually a better lane, because some people are going to want to leave. When people are leaving, there's obviously less cars in that lane, less traffic. Things move a bit better until probably after that junction. So again, see that gap coming up on the left, paying up attention to that gap, and then this blue van. So I'll make use of that lane just to create some distance, and I get past. It's a nice colour. So this is swimmingly, and you see a lot of indicators coming in. Now you can see how small some of these gaps are. For them to not be any further, it's embarrassing. Are you not embarrassed? Thank you. So you can see this black car close to the white line. So I'll just pay extra attention to it. If I can fit, the bike can fit. Get through. More open gaps. And again, just like a game of chess, I'm not looking at what's immediately in front of me all of the time. I look what's immediately in front of me, I look what's ahead, and I look what's further down. Now, I think those are just a few things when it comes to filtering. Now, key points I'll say to take away is practice. There is practicing in your own time, in the car park, in your back garden, in your living room, wherever it is. Just get the practice in. Feel the bike, see how the bike maneuvers. Then you can be able to tell what kind of gaps you can make, where you can fit. Pay attention to the position of other vehicles in their lanes. Are they in a good position in their lane that's going to allow you to squeeze past? Are they consistent with their lane positioning? Do you see any signs of them swerving or not paying attention? All of these things, just pay attention to. Gaps in the roads, again on larger roads. Cool, there's a gap up ahead that I would normally take. Assume that everybody else wants to take that gap. So as you approach those gaps, ride accordingly. Those are the things that I pay attention to. And I'd encourage other people to also pay attention to, as well as some of the tips and tricks that they have, that they use to make themselves a better rider. When you get comfortable on your bike, you'll be surprised about how much more you can actually do and how much your bike's actually capable of. So for now, I'm going to end that here. And yeah, hope to catch you on the next one. Peace.